Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chloe and I'm so happy that you clicked on today's video. If you hear any noise in the background, I apologize. There's some sort of construction that's been going on since 8 a.m. Of course, the day that I decide to film, that's when it's taking place, but we're gonna make this happen, okay? Today I bring you my nose job story, nose job experience. I recently made a video about Bella Hadid's Vogue interview and her comments about her nose job and her, coming clean and saying, hey, I got a nose job. And it really inspired me, talking about that, to talk about my own experience with my nose job and how it was for me. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I remember back when I was thinking about possibly getting a nose job, I remember watching this type of YouTube videos and getting like inspired or a little bit more insight into, hey, how is this actually going to be? Because there's the idea of what a nose job is going to be like, and the expectations and everything that goes into your head before you do it or you even start considering doing it. And then there's the other thing, which is the actual thing that happens. So I just want to disclose all my experience. So if you might be thinking about getting a nose job, or it's something that has been on your mind, maybe this can give you a little bit more of like clear mind so you know exactly what you want to do. A little bit of a disclaimer. This is not a video promoting plastic surgery or shitting on plastic surgery. I'm completely neutral. Of course, I had a very positive experience with my nose job. I would do it again in a heartbeat, but that doesn't mean that you will have a positive experience. So really know yourself and what you really want before you make any type of drastic decisions. This is just a video explaining my experience, and yeah, I'm not telling anyone to do anything that they don't want to do. So that out of the way, let me get started with my story. So I'm going to first insert a picture of what my nose used to look like. I'm going to put a before and after, like before the nose job and after the nose job. I actually have a photo that my doctors posted on their Instagram. As you can tell, the difference was pretty drastic. It was really drastic from the beginning. So right after I got my cast off, I could tell that there was a really big difference. But I want to just go into detail as to what my relationship with my nose and my face has been like, what made me certain that I wanted to get it done, and how the whole experience of getting it done and after was like, and finding the doctor, prices, and everything. And please keep in mind that I'm based in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I'm trying to convert that to dollars, but this happened 4 years ago, so you might see a different in prices. Specifically if you're based in the United States, I know that's going to be much more expensive for you. So to start, I do remember I kind of noticed that my nose was on the bigger side when I was around 12, 13. I was hitting puberty, and that's when usually, your features start to develop and, kind of like cement in your face. I didn't think that it was a bad thing necessarily. I did receive some sort of like, nasty comments here and there from classmates in school or relatives, but honestly, it was to a minimal, and it didn't really affect the way that I felt about myself that much, to be honest. The one thing that started to creep on me when it comes to like an insecurity was doing my makeup. So I've always been really in love with makeup. Like, I love doing my makeup. It's just something that I really enjoy. Specifically when I was this age, 13, 14, I started doing my makeup more and learning, the difference in products and what things suit my face and not. And I remember doing my makeup every single time. And as you can tell, I have very small eyes. So just try to picture my face with very small eyes and a very prominent nose. And I do have big lips, but they would like kind of disappear with my nose. And that's something that I've noticed when I was really young, that all of my features kind of like disappeared because I had a very prominent nose. Which, as I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that I felt uncomfortable with. And I remember like, doing my makeup because I was very passionate about makeup and kind of like hating the way that it looked, because everything was kind of like too much, or it felt like overpowering, because I couldn't really make my eyes stand out because my nose was kind of like in the way. And as I said, not necessarily a bad thing, but as everything in life, what could be nothing to someone can be a big insecurity to someone else. And yes, that is a cat that's meowing. Oh my god. You want to say hi? She doesn't want to say hi, but she's here, okay? Just know that she's here. She wants you to know that she's here. Back to what I was saying. So basically, I felt very insecure about my nose. I felt like I couldn't really relax because, when you have a very prominent nose, especially to the side, because I used to have like a very prominent nose to the side, I remember feeling so insecure about how people would be perceiving me and like different angles would feel really, really bad. Like I remember being in class, and if I had people sitting next to me, like the sides, I would be very self-conscious about the way that I looked from the side. So it was just very annoying to be so consumed about the way that I looked. And it was like, you know, it's not something that I can change naturally. So when I have the money, I'm gonna do this. And I talked about it with my parents, and they were incredibly supportive from the get-go. My mom, bless her heart, she was like, we're gonna, you know, support you financially when you're older, because of course the ideas and, you know, dreams of getting a nose job started when I was like 16, 17, and it was of course a little bit on the young side, and my parents wanted me to be an actual adult to make the decision, so we waited until I was 21, and that's when I got my nose done. So I turned 21, it's January of 2018, yes, and I am looking for places to get my nose job done. So I started doing a lot of research. There's like some doctors that have really big reputations here in Buenos Aires. There's other doctors that are not really known, but are also really good. So I just did a really intense deep dive, and I started getting tons of consultations. And there's a couple of experiences that kind of come to mind, so I can give you some tips and some warnings if this happens to you as well. The biggest advice that I would give you when going into the consultations is listen to your gut. If something inside of your brain and your body is telling you, this is not the doctor for me, I don't feel like I'm sure this is the person that I want, do not do it. There's always time to look for other doctors. There's always going to be a doctor that's going to suit you, and don't rush and try to get it done as fast as you can and go with the first doctor that you have a consultation with, because that's a fucking disaster. That's a recipe for disaster. I remember one of my first consultations that I had, just to give you an example, I went to a plastic surgery center. So like the difference between a doctor that's a plastic surgeon that is specialized in rhinoplasties and a plastic surgery center is that in the plastic surgery center, they have a lot of doctors, and they all do all type of plastic surgery. So they're not specialized in noses. So they might do a really good job, they might do an incredible job, but you don't really know because they do a bunch of different things. And they also have a lot of different doctors, and the assistants that kind of like were on the phone with me, they didn't want to give me an actual appointment with someone specifically. They were like, this is the doctor that's available, and it all felt like very generic, like every doctor was the same, and we all know that's not true. And I was young then, but I knew that it was kind of weird, like it didn't feel right. I still booked my consultation, and I went there, and I remember the first thing that they do is they assign me to, you know, the doctor that I was assigned to on the phone. I waited there for a couple hours. It was like a really long wait, but I was like, you know what, this is fine, I don't mind. I've waited for this my whole life. So when they call me in, I talk to this doctor. He's really nice. He seems very professional, but he starts telling me that he would perform a closed rhinoplasty. And this is where I'm gonna warn the people that are a little bit squeamish, okay? There's two different types of rhinoplasties: open rhinoplasties and closed rhinoplasties. So basically, open rhinoplasties means that there's an incision where they kind of like lift everything, and this gives them more opportunity to fuck around with things inside of your nose. And these surgeries are done on like really big nose jobs, like dramatic changes, like dramatic differences. You're looking for very dramatic results. Whereas closed rhinoplasties will not require an incision, and they just go through your nostrils, and they work with everything kind of like blindfolded, if that makes sense. If you were to do like a very minimal rhinoplasty that doesn't take a lot of effort or time, you will do a closed rhinoplasty. But my nose was pretty prominent. It was really big, and my nose tip wasn't really defined. So that kind of like felt weird, because I remember reading a lot about it online, and I was like, hey, I would have guessed that this would be an open rhinoplasty, but whatever. I still heard everything that he said. You know, we talked for a while, but I had this feeling inside of me that I didn't want to go with the surgery with this surgeon. When I got out of the consultation, one of the secretaries brought me into a small room, and they basically wanted to give me a big discount if I got the surgery done like in 2 weeks. Like they were kind of trying to push the surgery like as much as they can, like, hey, get this done, we'll give you a discount. And that's also like super fishy. Like, I'm not gonna rush into getting a nose job. Like, this is the middle of my face. Of course I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, it's cheap, let's do it. Like, what? No, that's not me. And I understand that price is a big thing, but honestly I was willing to pay a little bit more because it's my fucking face. I get out of there and I'm like, absolutely not. I don't want to go with this doctor. And I had another consultation with some doctors that were really, really well known in the city as well. It's actually 2 doctors, and they're both plastic surgeons, but they're also, I don't know the name of the specialty. I'm going to put it right here. Basically the doctors that know how to fix your nose if you have breathing problems. I had a consultation with them, immediately liked them, and they were very honest. They basically told me that they wouldn't be able to show me how my nose would look like, because that's impossible, because every nose is specific to the face. Like, you have to respect features, and like everything has to be like in harmony with the face. So being like, hey, I want Angelina Jolie's nose, like, that's not possible. And if a doctor says that they can do that to your face, run away. So basically they look at me and they tell me, okay, we would do an open rhinoplasty. And I was like, that's funny, because I went to a doctor that said that I should have a closed rhinoplasty. And they were like, yeah, absolutely not. That wouldn't work because of your tip. You have a very undefined tip. And so that wouldn't work in your specific case. And so that kind of like cemented the idea of, okay, I want to go with these doctors. And I really liked them. Preparing for the surgery was incredibly exciting. So basically, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I had a very traumatizing surgery when I was 13. It was a scoliosis surgery on my back, and it was a very traumatizing experience because I didn't choose to get the surgery. I had to for the sake of my life. So this was a different experience. I was just really excited. Of course, still, when the day of the surgery came, I was really nervous, of course. But I had to give it to the whole doctors, like the team. They were so good with me. They were so patient. The anesthesiologist specifically, he was a sweetheart. I didn't feel nervous at all when I was talking to him, and it was just a really positive experience. Even when I woke up and I was really nauseous, I still felt so good and just surrounded by people that cared about me. When I woke up, the doctors told me and my family that I actually had a deviated septum, and they fixed it. And my nose was actually so big that they couldn't tell that the septum was deviated, which I guess that's a good thing. Instantly, after the surgery, I felt very nauseous and I felt very tired. I didn't feel any pain, but I would describe the feeling as this big pressure in my nose, like someone, you know, when you get hit in the face by a ball or something, like a volleyball, and it hurts at first, but then there's like a pressure, like there's a lot of blood here. That's what it felt like. Like, it didn't really feel like pain, but like pressure, very intense pressure. And of course, it was impossible for me to breathe out of my nose for a whole week, which was incredibly annoying. And this is something that I want you to know. You won't feel any pain, but it's so annoying. I had a very dry mouth 24/7. I have very, very dry lips. It was just so annoying. But it was also exciting because with every single day, I was more and more excited to take my cast off and see the result. And of course, the result is not the final result. You have to wait at least 6 months to a year to see the actual nose and how it's gonna look like in your face. But I'll be honest with you, even though when they removed the cast, removing the cast was like, it did hurt a little bit. It was like, it wasn't really that it hurt, but it felt so weird. It was such a weird feeling that I felt like, but it was fine. It lasted like 3 seconds. Seeing my nose afterwards was so fucking weird and exciting. I loved it immediately, even though I had like blackheads all over my nose because, you know, I had a cast for a whole week and I couldn't like take care of my skin or anything. And even though it was swollen, like so swollen, I absolutely loved it as soon as I saw it. And that only got better with time. I feel like 6 months later, I saw a difference. And then now, you know, I had my surgery 4 years ago. I can tell that this is like of course, this is the final nose. It tends to like slim down and get smaller. But you know, even a month later, I absolutely loved my nose. Like I told my mom, I remember like, even if it's swollen now, I don't fucking care. It looks perfect. Like I just loved it immediately. And it's so nice to, you know, when you're insecure about something your whole life, to go, you know, from one place where you're so insecure about something to a place where you don't even think about it. Like you're just so comfortable that you don't even think about the way that your face looks. Like my face is not an insecurity. Like I don't care what people think about me or if people find me attractive or not. I am very confident in my face, and that's really nice. But another thing that I want to say is that if you're thinking about getting a nose job and, you know, you're thinking that it's going to solve all of your insecurities and you're going to finally be happy and it's going to solve all of your life, no, girl. Like, nose job or anything like plastic surgery, it's going to make you more confident. Yes, it's going to help you with that, but it won't solve your life. Like if you have any other insecurities, it's not going to work towards that. Like it's not going to solve that. So just know that there's a lot of inside work that you need to put on, and there's a lot of things that you have to pay attention to apart from like getting a plastic surgery procedure. That being said, I don't regret it a single moment of my life. Like I think it's one of the best decisions I could ever done to my face and in my life in general. And I feel very happy, and I feel very blessed that I had a family that really supported me all the way through it, and friends that were super nice to me. And yeah, it was just a very, very positive experience. In regards to price, it cost around 60,000 pesos, and my healthcare, of course, did not cover that money. So I'm really grateful that my parents were able to pay for that. Of course, right now, it's probably 3 times, because of inflation here, it's probably 3 times that price. It's not going to be that cheap. But at the time, it was really, really expensive. So just, you know, a little less on inflation in Argentina. I got comments when I told my friends that I wanted to, you know, get my nose done, and some comments were a little bit interesting. Like I remember one of my friends asking me like, are you insecure? Like, because I feel like your nose never pushed you back from doing the things that you wanted to do. And that's true. Like I dated people, I posted pictures of myself online, and I did my makeup, and I dressed up, and I felt cute, and I felt confident and sexy. Like it didn't push me back. It's not like I was like a hermit inside of my house and I wouldn't see anyone. Like I was like wearing a hoodie and covering my face. Like no, that wasn't me. But there was always like a little voice down there, where, inside of my head, saying, you know, just, you know, feeling uncomfortable and saying negative things. And it's really nice that that voice is completely gone. But of course, as I said, there's other insecurities that I had to work on, because it's not a magic pill that you take and everything is fixed. No. And I did get a couple of comments from people that I know and friends. You know, most of my friends were really, really positive. But I did get a couple of comments from people being like, oh, but your nose is so you. And I think to myself, like when people say those things to me, if my nose is the one thing that defines me, what? Like, that's so crazy. Like, I feel like how I am with my friends and my family and my, you know, my professional work and my, you know, my attitude and my passions and my hobbies, those things are me. Like, that's me. Not my nose. My nose is a part of me. It's a part of my face. And it's a part of my face that I didn't feel comfortable with, and I changed it, and I feel so much happier. So just really be mindful if you have a friend or someone in your life that's thinking about, you know, getting plastic surgery. Be mindful about what you say to them. And also, if you are getting plastic surgery or thinking about getting a nose job, not everyone's going to say the right things, and not everyone's going to say, like, not everyone's going to be super supportive. And I had to accept that. I had to be like, I don't care. My desire to get this done and my conviction to get it done is bigger. And you really have to analyze within yourself if your conviction is bigger. So yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. So I just really want to say thank you to everyone that's been leaving so many comments on my last video, like the Bella Hadid video. That video was tricky to make because I didn't know the response that I would get, and I felt really nervous posting it and watching the views go up. I don't know why it says 700 views. I see on my end on YouTube it's 800, but it's like almost 1,000 views. That's crazy. Like my channel is so tiny, so that's incredible. I just want to say thank you for all of the feedback and all of the nice comments and like the debate that happens in the comments. And as I said before, if you're thinking about commenting on this video, just keep it respectful. Even if you're not really, you know, into plastic surgery, that's fine. We all have different thoughts. You do you, whatever you do with your body. It's your fucking body. It's your thoughts. It's your opinions. It's fine. Just let's keep it respectful, because I'm trying to be respectful with my message, and I really like it when other people can, you know, tell their stories and share their experiences in, you know, a very respectful way. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.